Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, good evening, folks. Open the show. I just got to say, guys, I've worked with a lot of teams and a lot of different people throughout what I've actually have done that a lot of you wouldn't even know about through my life. And I reckon that you guys are probably the best team that I've ever come across. And I've had state champions, champions of champions, all right, played in them myself, been there, coached through them. And I reckon the team we got here, guys, for the opposition we're up against, which is the devil himself, is an absolutely brilliant team. You guys need to pat yourself on the back. Seriously, I was thinking about it today. And what a job you have done. You know, and what a privilege for me to have a program like this and be sort of helping coach. You know what I mean? If that's what you would call it, you know, our way through this mess, guys. So, yeah, thanks, everyone. I reckon you've done a brilliant job, guys. I don't know a team that could have done a better job for a little bunch of people that are well activated, got their, we've got our tentacles out now, like they've got their tentacles out, guys, and we are doing a great job. Now, yous are the champions, mate. Seriously, yous are. You know, I can sit here and spruik all I want, but if we don't get something done and we don't go and do something, we don't activate, I might as well not do it, all right? So I accept my responsibility, and, yeah, you guys have accepted yours, no doubt. And as I say, are doing an absolute brilliant job, guys. But we got to go harder now. We really do. All right. Albo's just stopped in Fiji today and given him $500 million, all right, for aerial fishing patrols, guys. $500 million. While he's shutting down the fishing industry, or the government and New World Order is shutting down the fishing industry, as you heard about last year with the guys in Queensland, all right, shutting it down on us. But they got $500 million to spend over in Fiji to look after fishing patrols, boats. Like, this has just got so out of hand, guys. It is, it's off its chops. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep moving. We know we got the upper hand. And the reason that for that is, guys, that we know who wins this battle at the end of the day. All right. And we are to endure and overcome. So I just wanted to get that out there, guys. I have had some absolutely brilliant teams with some brilliant players. All right. And achieved some remarkable things. But what we're achieving here is more remarkable than anything we could ever do, mate. This is history, guys. All right? For the first time, we're going to take this guy down. He's called the devil. And he's really up against us at the moment. All right, so what do we got up here? We got Australia has a lot of politicians, yet another pay rise under the Albanese government. So 15K he's picked up. I think it wasn't the 54% that's been getting spruiked out there, guys, but still, 15K. I know a few families out there that could do a 15K to help them get through, Now, this is one, guys. I had this up the other day, last night, but never got to it. Toowong private hospital purchase of artwork off a director questioned by the administrators. So the administrators have gone in and found that, hospital money's going to one of the directors who's selling his art of a hospital. Like, anyway. You and I were doing this, mate. We'd be locked up. Those filthy criminal courts would have us locked up in 2 seconds. Right, do you want to know what to know about the new Nimbus COVID variant? Well, there's jack shit to know about it, except keep healthy, guys. All right, they're pulling another one. We know it's going to be on. The word is by actually September, it's supposed to be full blown worldwide. So, look out. Australian aged care and disability service provider to shut down. So, again, we're seeing the most vulnerable people in our communities, guys, getting the least amount of help. They're good, this government, I tell you. Yeah. And we've got an estimated in Australia 4 million solar panels that have reached their end of life. 4 million of them, guys. All right. Just like, let's get the coal going again, eh? That would be good. Righto, Caz, whenever you're right, darling. How you going?
Good. I'm good. Look, there's lots of news happening. First of all, let's have a look at what happened at Cully Bay today. Dave did this report.
So here we are with news. Got of people down here, and we will see what happens today, guys. I don't expect too much at the moment. I expect them to leave them here up until midnight tonight, date, and then from there, it'll probably be a 3 a.m. raid or something. So who knows what's going to go on, but there's a few people down here ready to stand up to them and see what happens. So we'll keep you informed, guys. All right, cheers. And Pepsi's barking because that's Milo, his little mate there. They play together, so that's why Pepsi's barking in the background. You can hear Milo on the film. Yeah, look, guys, we were down there today. I haven't been in touch this afternoon. I've had to do some things. We had people dropping in there all day. I think they even took a Barbie down. And, but yeah, we're just going to see what happens, guys. But, I would suspect that tonight, Friday the 13th at 12 o'clock will be the deadline, and tomorrow morning, they may pull some action, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Mr. Paul Scully, you're on notice, son. All right, come on the show. Come and have a chat, mate. That's what the people want. They want to hear from you. They don't want to just see your control, mate. You and your wife. She's welcome to.
Got this report. They are so crazy. Like, look at these chemtrails.
This is 2:30 in Pascoe Vale on Friday.
Laying them thick, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, yeah.
And while
they are.
While Albo's given away heaps of money, okay, you've got this horrible situation where a Melbourne man who fell and split his head open called 000 twice, but bled to death over 5 hours because the paramedics couldn't leave a hospital just a suburb away because the ambulances were ramped.
All by design, people. I got to keep saying it because that's what it is. It is all by design. Now, who gives $500 million over to Fiji to watch fishing boats, illegal fishing boats? $500 million, man. Like,
yeah, and what are they very concerned about illegal things, though? Because look, you've got this as well. So the Victorian government is promising the toughest penalties in the country as it introduces legislation to combat illegal tobacco. So the fine is going to be $355,000 or 15 years in jail. And a business could face a fine of $1.7 million.
Wow.
Well, you're in the right place, Daryl Buckley. Hi from the Philippines. Kumustar, bloke. And you will return me with Mabuti. Anyway, enjoy the Philippines, mate. What a great place. I sailed there in 91 on a pretty big boat, actually, and had a wow of a time, man. I love the Filipino people. They were absolutely choice. And I actually ate dog on Boracay Island for the first time, guys. There you go.
I like to pet my dogs. Don't like to eat them.
Yeah, I didn't like what I'd ate after I found out what I'd ate, but I didn't know at the time. And I'd been about 7 days on water, and whatever was there looked pretty all right, I can tell you.
Well, if we're talking about the sacrifice of animals, okay, and it's not even for food, okay, you've got this story. So there's calls to release the documents behind the helicopter shooting of koalas in controversial plan dubbed medieval. So we've covered this a little bit, but not a lot. So there are over 1,000 of them that were shot. So yeah, it's just unreal.
Remember when they brought up? Remember when the government cronies brought up the one from down Phillip Island, and when they done the DNA test on it, they got caught out. Remember they brought up the koala to play possum. It's just unreal.
No, of course. I know, and then you've got Two Worlds Collider's done this situation of how there's no blind justice in Australia anymore, and he's absolutely correct.
1992, the Australian court introduced a law allowing judges to consider cultural background when sentencing Indigenous offenders. It was controversial back then, but now it's been hijacked by DEI ideology, because today the same leniency is now being extended to Muslim offenders. A move that doesn't reflect fairness, but something more far strategic than that. A setup for mass immigration. Think about it, right? We're importing people from parts of the world where women have no rights. In some places, little girls can be sold off into marriages, and where religious law overrides democratic law. And instead of protecting Australian values, the courts are now adapting our justice system to accommodate theirs. I've got a plan for the Australian government. Don't import people from cultures that fundamentally clash with ours. Because if you need to rewrite the legal system to make excuses for certain offenders, then you already know who you're letting in and what's coming. This isn't about fairness. This isn't about justice. It's a carefully laid foundation for mass, values-blind immigration. And it's not just the courts being gutted by identity politics. Let's talk about the military now. Remember General Angus Campbell? He's the same bloke who threw Australian soldiers under the bus for alleged war crimes before trial. He weakened our defence force with woke DEI policies, and he pushed gender theory and identity politics into the ranks of the frontline defence. And guess what? He's just been rewarded with a new cushy role as Australia's ambassador to Belgium, NATO, the EU and Luxembourg. This is the one place where DEI shouldn't exist. A force built on strength, unity and merit. Meanwhile, China is circling our waters with submarines, and we're too busy worrying about pronouns and diversity checklists. Two pillars that should represent law and defence, now twisted by identity politics and appeasement. We don't need representation. We need standards, we need the truth, and we need our leaders with the guts to say enough is enough. What's your thoughts?
Oh, Dave, you're on mute. You're on mute, Dave.
Yeah, I got it now. Sorry, mate. I had a cargo pass. But yeah, 500K to the Philippines for dynamite fishing campaign. I got a great story we could talk about, Daryl, about dynamite fishing in New Guinea at Sierra Island, mate. It was absolutely insane. It was hilarious. It wasn't good, but it was hilarious.
Now we're just going to have a little...
people.
It is. We're just going to have a little ad break at this point because the convoy from Cairns to Canberra has been finalised the routes. So I'm just going to bring those on.
And the details for the Freedom Unites Cairns to Canberra parade are as follows. Thursday the 26th of June, Cairns and the Northern Converge on Townsville. Friday the 27th of June, 7 a.m, Townsville to Serena. Friday the 27th of June, 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m, Serena to North Rockhampton. Saturday the 28th of June, 6 a.m, Rockhampton Caves to Gympie. Saturday the 28th of June, 1 to 5, Gympie to Toowoomba. Friday the 4th of July, 7 a.m, Plainlands Mobile to Armidale. Friday the 4th of July, 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m, Armidale to Singleton. Friday the 4th of July, 7 a.m, Gold Coast to Singleton. Saturday the 5th of July, 7 a.m, Singleton to Pheasant's Nest. And Saturday the 5th of July, 2 to 4:30 p.m, Pheasant's Nest to Canberra at Epic. All small towns will be stopped along the way, and lunch is also organised en route.
All right. Joe's got the plan down. So who's in? Who's having a go? And, what are we going to do, guys? We got to get behind it. All right, see what you can do. We still need more cars. We got a few down here in Wollongong, but we need more up, guys, for the trip. And let's see how we can go. You know, if we have to put another one at Goulburn and then Goulburn to Canberra, or we can talk to Jody about that. If Pheasant's Nest to Canberra is a bit too much, maybe we can get a Goulburn crew. So anyway, let's see where we're going. But yeah, great work.
Good work. All right. Brady Gardner has put this ever so simply. Just pre-warning, I think there's a swear word or two in this one.
We get this straight. People own money. So the IMF and the World Banks and BIS, they can say they've got member countries that own them, but no, people own money. That money that we work so hard for, putting in a 40, 50-hour week to feed our kids and pay that mortgage is at mercy for manipulation, the same as the little cheating kid that's playing Monopoly. And it goes further because banks can lend it. Banks can lend the imaginary money, but they don't even have it. So they're imagining they've got the imaginary money so they can lend it to you that they don't even have, but then they can charge interest on you on a housing market that's been inflated because, you know, they own money. And even though they can print money, because they just print it, because they own it, they just print it. So even though they can print it, we still got to pay taxes. No, not just one tax though, not just income tax. We've got to pay GST and capital gains and we've got to pay council tax. And if you're going to have a lemonade stall, young man, you better pay tax on that. And you're going to need a permit. And if you sell your electric scooter, son, and make a profit, the government wants a part of that as well. Oh, and then there's tolls as well and parking that you got to pay. And even though you've already paid for the roads with your registration, which is another tax, not enough though. Even though we're standing here with all the clothes pecked off us by our own governments, not enough. Still not enough. Can't balance the books. Joe's plumbing, he's got to balance the books. If he doesn't balance the books or pay his tax, he's got no business and he's in jail. Mary from Mary's bookkeeping, she can keep the books, but nope, 2,000 or however many you're in the Department of the Treasury can't balance a whole country's tax. Too hard. Not their money, even though they're on mega salaries and pensions. No, it's just a country. They don't give a flying ball. Got to go in debt. Here in Australia, over $1 trillion I think it is now. But Australia with 27 million people, $1 trillion. But here's the thing, it's imaginary money and we're borrowing it off people that nobody can actually tell us who it is. Meant to be our money and we're going into imaginary debt. So it's imaginary money and we're in imaginary debt to imaginary people. But they're going to drive the country into the ground and we've got to pay more taxes because of their up decisions, even though they can just print money anyway. So let's just recap that then. So they own money and they can lend money they don't have and it's not real anyway. And we've got to pay taxes, but only us, not the globalist corporations. Ministers and stuff, they've got overseas bank accounts, so they don't have to either. And the bank can lend money to us that they don't have. And the government can spend all of our money and get into debt, spending it on really good stuff, not the stuff like feeding our kids and feeding the homeless and creating a better country. No, all the good stuff like wars overseas has got nothing to do with us, and aid and maybe tranny story time programs for the kids, help these little kids chop their dicks off, all the good stuff, not those pesky homeless people, our fellow countrymen. Oh, and then, sorry, just a little thing, inflation. It's just theft by nature. Oh, and superannuation. So 10% of all of our imaginary money that we work so hard for has got to go to somebody else that we've never met so that they can squander it. And if we don't do that, then that's illegal. I'm no Arthur Ponzarelli, but this sounds like a Ponzi scheme. They're just moving zeros and making money. They're just owning the game, writing themselves $50 notes and putting it in the Monopoly game. And we've got to help the company profit. That company's only made $10 billion a year. They've got to make 11.
We'll leave it there, but he's done such a good job and he explains it so succinctly, and it's just like, it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You're on mute again, Dave. Is Dave on mute?
Yeah, sorry, I got bikes and cars just going fucking ballistic down here, mate. Anyway, that's the way it is.
All right, we predicted it and the media fell for it. Suddenly, Elon has tweeted, I regret some of my posts about President Trump last week. They went too far. We told you. We called it. All right.
It's a movie.
Look, there's heaps. There's heaps of stuff going on, and like you've got the whole thing going on with Iran and Israel, and we will get to that. But at the same time, there's absolutely everything going on at once. There is this situation with 23andMe and their data sell-off.
It says that without their consent, you can't share their information. You're about to sell it.
Senator, that consent is, essentially for,
not real.
Not share for research purposes, and we are not selling it for research purposes.
So when you tell the consumer, give us your personal information and we'll take money from you, and we won't give it to anybody without your consent, it's not real. It just means, maybe kind of depends on the day.
Senator, I will say that our customers' data is their own. They have the right at all times to access that information. They can edit it.
Well, sure they can, but you're about to sell it to who knows who. They can't control it. You said to Senator Moody that consumers have complete control of their data. Complete. How can they have complete control if you're about to sell it without their consent?
Senator, they can delete that data anytime up until the sale and after.
Oh, okay. They can delete the data. Have you fixed the ability of customers to go on your website and delete it? Because right after you announced your sale, your deletion page went down. I hold in my hand here an article from the Wall Street Journal. 23andMe site goes down as customers struggle to delete their data. Can they even get on?
Outrageous. Dave, you're on mute again.
Sorry, you got hoons everywhere down here, mate. Yeah, you want to watch that whole clip there, guys. It's very, very just unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And as well as you've got that, like the disclosure of that, you've actually got also disclosure in other forms as well. For example, Dan Driscoll, the Department DOT Secretary, talking about the man on the moon or soldiers on the moon.
Thing is, to your point, the Army started planning this long in advance because what we believe is this will continue the strength in recruiting and retention that we have as young Americans across the country get to see all of the amazing things that the Army has done, whether it's helping with floods in North Carolina or wildfires in California, or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier, including actually going to war and fighting to defend the freedoms that are that make our nation so great. We think this is going to be an incredible opportunity for the Army.
So you have that. Then on top of it, you've got the revelations coming out about George Soros, and that is huge with regards to the $260 million.
Hungarian-American billionaire George Soros is responsible for interfering in the political landscape of many countries. The account claims that Soros used a hefty $260 million from U.S. aid to spread chaos, change governments, and pursue personal gain in countries such as India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Ukraine. Now, this comes as the Trump administration continues to freeze U.S. aid's budget, describing its initiatives as misaligned with American interests and accusing them of destabilizing global peace.
Well, many ideas, but look, he's done a great job. Look at all the fraud that he's found in this U.S. AID. It's a disaster what the people, radical left lunatics, they have things that nobody would have even believed. The whole thing with $100 million spent on you know what, with money going to all sorts of groups that shouldn't deserve to get any money, with the money. I'd like to see what the kickbacks are.
As well as
we've
Christy
known, we've all known about, we just didn't know the trail, but we knew what was going on 4 or 5 years ago, Caz, where this was all coming from.
Yeah, but we didn't have the receipts. We didn't have the receipts. No, now they've got the receipts. Tulsi Gabbard has come out on national TV and she said, look, I've got the receipts to prove that this is happening. And now you've got Christy Nome has weighed into it as well.
And we also have the IRS here that's helping us track how these violent protesters are funded, what NGOs out there, what unions, what other individuals may be funding these violent perpetuators that are in these protests that take people who may be wanting to come and be peaceful, but instead turn these into very violent activities that go after law enforcement. That's just simply not acceptable. And I also
So you have that, but you've also got this situation as well. They actually are arresting them. Now, this guy was hunted down by people on the internet. So he was delivering tens of thousands of dollars worth of masks, face shields to the rioters. Okay. The internet did open source request asking people to track him down. They did. They sent it to the department, and there he is. He's been arrested.
There's a lot going down in the background. There's arrests going down left, right, and centre, Caz. Big consortiums too.
Yes,
So, yeah.
I know. And then you've got this one. Now, I don't know if this is a military tribunal, and if it is, it's not how we thought it was going to be, but you explain it to me.
Welcome back, everyone. Here live now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. We continue now to listen to more of the three Democratic governors testifying on their sanctuary city policies. Let's listen in on Live Now.
Okay, you guys, this is the start of the tribunals. No joke. This is on Fox Live now.
Foreign citizens on foreign soil.
Fox Live now.
Illegal aliens how to bypass.
This is the beginning of the tribunals.
Now let me remind you, as soon as an alien crosses the border,
and they are sweating and so scared.
Governors or sanctuary cities policies blatantly ignore the supremacy clause, as Mr. Palmer.
The looks on their faces are just priceless. And this is the beginning. This is the start. It's happening.
There were over 660,000 illegal aliens with criminal history.
Well, I hope it is. I believe it when I see it, but I hope it is. But yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen that one, Caz.
No, well, I actually think it is. Because a lot of the stuff that's coming out is in that basically anyone could pretty much miss it. It's like this. We've played this clip the other day, but I've brought it in again because when you listen to it, this is T-Man. Listen to this.
Oh, beautiful flame. You're going to keep it lit. You will hold the flag high, and you will do something that's become quite a famous little phrase also.
Would that be, ladies, would that be my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us?
Mm.
And how does he know that? He smiles. He goes, you will do something that has become quite a little famous phrase also. So there is a lot going on.
I have said I don't trust any of them except the good Lord. But anyway, yep, whoever's doing this benefit at the moment, we got to get behind, and whether we're getting, he's got to cut off the path when we've got far enough down it. But yeah, the process at the moment is awakening and getting people to be awake to what's going on.
That's it. All right, well, bring in the flyers because it's nearly past.
And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And on Mondays, don't forget Mondays at Maggie's, the Frank and Charles podcast. They will be hitting the streets this week. Mondays at Maggie's. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And the FUCCP page is up and running. Freedom Unites Cairns to Canberra Parade. The first leg is on Friday to Sunday, Townsville to Toowoomba, 27th to the 29th of June. The second leg will be Friday to Sunday, the 4th to the 6th of July, from Toowoomba to Canberra. And there will be a Stop the Chemtrailing March. Gather at Hyde Park Fountain in Sydney at 12 p.m. on Saturday the 21st of June 2025 and march to the Governor's House from Hyde Park at 1 p.m. with guest speakers with open mic, so come along and have your say. And Dissection has more news and awards and finalists in the following festivals. Documentaries Without Borders Film Festival on September the 14th. It is official selection. Impact Docs Awards, California, USA official selection for Best Documentary finalist, which will be on August the 12th, 2025. And the White Rose International Film Festival in Yorkshire, UK. Official selection for Best Documentary finalist, Best Cinematography runner-up. That date is on August 9th, 2025. And in the vein of Sun Tzu, Know Thy Enemy, the Anti-Corruption Academy is hosting an event on Saturday the 21st of June 2025. The venue will be at the Rocky Sports Club, 1 Lion Creek Road, Wandell, Rockhampton, 8 a.m. for an 8:30 start to 5 p.m. approximately. The cost is $45 and this includes morning tea. Lunch will be on order at the bistro. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance, lest we forget. A daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X, Melissa 146233923.
See, our people are just brilliant. Getting stuff done everywhere.
It's true. It's true. All right, let's first of all listen to 107 being interviewed about what's going on at the moment.
It's not backing off. This is about not just a legacy in the second term, but rectifying all of the evils that were done against Trump and the country and the world over the last many years, and it's all going to come to a head. And this is with a plan, and whether you see the plan or not, there's a plan. And in the end, America wins. Trump will win, and so will the MAGA people. We're going to resolve a lot of these issues.
I only hope you are, Juan. You're a big boy, so you should be able to supply some big issues, Juan. There you go.
All right, and now, interestingly enough, look at this. Is it terrible? Trump's birthday parade thrown into chaos as wild thunderstorm threatens military spectacle. Now, isn't that interesting?
Isn't it?
Fascinating. Could
Well,
it be they
tomorrow's
just
a big day over there. Oh, no, Sunday's a big day over there, the 14th. Big.
Well, yeah, it is. That's when the riots are supposed to be kicking off. But here's the thing: is that could they have needed all of those military units in certain places at a particular time? And sorry, we can't actually use them now because there's a big storm on. Like, have you seen the size of those tanks? Like, nothing stops them.
Yep, it's look, there's a lot of towns over there that are going into chaos, and that's all by design by Soros, you know. Let's just see how it plays out. I'm glad we're not over there.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, let's hit the Iran news because that's pretty huge. So what actually happened was Israel claims that they did a preemptive strike on Iran, but on a nuclear facility. And not only did they do that, they actually managed to kill Salami as well. So Iranian state media confirms that Revolutionary Guards chief Salami was killed.
Another two as well. Another two top officials, scientists. So, yeah, crazy times coming, guys. It will be a wild weekend. I can assure you there's going to be a lot going on over there. Let's just make sure there's a lot going on over here, and it's about waking up the rest of the Australian population that we can. All right. You know, they're now just put a party in, guys, a Muslim party, and it's just been entered into Parliament. We'll look at it tomorrow, Monday night. But yeah, it's all on, guys. It's all on, man. The takeover is on. We stop it.
All right, now you've got some really interesting cue drops with regards to this. So MJ Truth Ultra found this one. It's tomorrow's Delta, and it says biblical times, and then it says the how will be hard to understand for most. Focus on the why, and the when is now. So a bit of cryptic messaging there.
Well, have you seen everything happening over in the deserts and the different things that are being exposed in that, guys? All right, this is all written in the biblical in a biblical forecast, you know what I mean? And it's all coming to it's just it's like when I showed you the real Mount Sinai, you know, it's all just step by step by step by step. It is happening as it was told.
Mm. All right. Now, so immediately after that, Rubio sent out a press release saying that they had nothing to do with the strike on Iran. I wanted to go over this again because this is actually Justice Cometh, and this is very interesting because what he discovered was that T-Man has been talking about the hammer. He mentioned hammer a lot, and the hammer drop actually says, it actually says here, kill Google, kill YouTube, kill Facebook, kill Twitter, kill Yahoo, kill Bing, kill Instagram. Net will be paused, hammer on the clock. And that's really interesting because guess what all went down? So Down Detector reported widespread outages for major platforms like Google, Amazon, Cloudflare. And there was a massive, that's only a few of them. There was pages of them actually.
Well, Matilda TV won't be going down, guys. Rumble won't be going down, hopefully. But anyway, let's see. Be
Well,
prepared,
that's it now.
people, be prepared.
That's it. And what's happened then in the meantime is that there have been, Iran has released apparently about 800 missiles.
In Israel, yeah.
Drones. Yeah. So initial reports more than 800 Iranian projectiles, cruise missiles, suicide drones, and ballistic missiles have been launched against Israel. And then the rhetoric that has been coming out of the Iranian military post. So this is Galibaf, Speaker of Iranian Parliament, and he's asked for revenge. They've actually just posted that it's time to kill some rats. So they are very furious. So I checked out what Tori says. She says all the surrounding nations closed their airspace to Israel and gave pass to Iran drones heading to Israel, as well as missiles, Turkish Air Force in the air. Like I said, we are at war. So very, very interesting times that we are living in. And then this afternoon, after maintaining neutrality, Trump came out and he basically said he will defend the US will defend itself in Israel if Iran retaliates. So, but then later on, he also said that he was hoping to get Iran to come to the table, the negotiation table. So,
yeah, well, it's Israel that needs to come to the negotiation table. But anyway, we won't go there.
Well, it's a very, very interesting time that we are living in. So I'm just and the other thing that now where did I put that? So they now with regards to hang on, just let me go and find this. You can talk for a minute there, Dave, while I go and find it.
Yeah, well, I just think it's very interesting, guys. Get a grip on it really, because everything biblical is just being, the prophecies are just falling over themselves, guys. It is just on, all right? We got, stuff being exposed underground. We got, more and more things just being divulged to us. And that's what this is all about, guys, all right? It's about the lifting of the veil. And the veil is a uniform veil right across the world. Okay?
But we thought that it would, that it would come out one at a time, but it's not. It's all absolutely happening all at once.
Now it's just, now it's just going off. Yep.
And even the TikTokers who have said that they've been paid to support the riots, and then somebody did a compilation of all of the TikTokers who are actually on the same script. And then you've got people like Dr. Phil coming out and doing a monologue on how wrong these riots are.
Your eyes don't deceive you, but the media does. CNN's Dana Bash, well, she compares this madness to what happened in L.A. in 1992.
What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Guess this isn't a real riot. MSNBC interviewing California Representative Judy Chu, a Democrat, who calls this a, quote, manufactured crisis. What does that even mean? This crisis isn't manufactured. MSNBC's news coverage is manufactured. That's what's manufactured.
You have outliers that throw things and
We'll leave it there, but it's a very good clip, and he just basically says, hang on, this is actually exactly the same stuff. And then also, let's not forget that these people are the same people that wanted internment camps built for people like us who didn't want to have the vaccine.
Yeah.
So we live in crazy times. But anyway, we're going out on, it's tough to be a spiritual being. I thought it'd uplift us for the weekend. So Dave, if you'd like to wrap up and close the show.
All right, well, just let 2SM know that I will be ringing in next week at some time to see if we can have another chat, and we'll see whether they don't hang up on me on the way into the studio. Chris Smith, if you're watching the show, mate, hope you are. Someone send it to him with you tonight. Yeah, and then we got, these mugs. Like, what's really pissed me off is when this reporter got shot, this Carl Stefanovic and all these wankers, old Carlos, what a tool that guy is. He's another knob, you know what I mean? He's actually, never said a thing for the people, mate, but now he's in there going on about this, going on about that. All the media guys, they all took the deal. Okay, Carl Stefanovic's on $3 million a year, guys. I think he's not going to do what he's told. $3 million a year. Insanity. All right, and these people are ruining your life. So again, Ben Fordham, 2.5 years ago, I tried to tell you this stuff, mate, and you tried to lock me up in jail. Now you're all out there trying to be heroes, spruiking it. Well, none of yous are heroes. All right, none of yous, because you all fell for it, you dickheads. You all went and jabbed your children. You all went and publicised it to the public that this is the right thing to do. Go and get your logo. Get your jab. Help your grandma. Well, guys, turned out a little bit different, didn't it, eh? And the scenario's coming to get you now. Good night. Have a great weekend, people. Love you all.
Here's why your life was so damn tough as a spiritual being, and why you had to wake before the others. The world is about to change. It already is. And it's been a long time coming, but the changes are nothing compared to what is to come. The sheep are collectively going to spiral out of control because they've buried their head in the sand for so long thinking ignorance is bliss, and now the storm is here to hit them in the ass. They will be forced to see that reality is far from what they believe it to be. Shit is going to get weird for them, but for you, it's another walk in the park. They won't be able to afford the luxury of staying in a deep slumber anymore. You are going to be calm and collected during this chaotic time in human history, during this gigantic paradigm shift. You're going to be witnessed by the masses as someone who must know a thing or 12. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so centered. The same people that laugh at you are going to rely on your wisdom. They're not laughing now, but you are. You knew what will unfold, totally unfazed. But you didn't know just how good it's going to get, because the universe loves to surprise its most dedicated warriors. The laughing they directed at you and alienating of you was exactly the training you needed to make you even tougher than you already were. You're a leader, after all. And we can't call you a leader if you're a soft, sensitive mess, can we? You knew all along what was coming. Even when you didn't trust the process, you still stayed the course. That's what I call a leader. For fuck's sake. You just cannot be stopped. And whether you knew it back then or not, the universe had your back, shaping you into the magnificent being you are today. Nobody was going to take advice from you if your life was squeaky clean and had no experience at all. You will be vindicated. You will be elevated, and your name will be said millions of times. You didn't do it for the glory. You did it because your heart is massive, and all three of your eyes are open. You are protected. You are loved. You are necessary, and you are needed. Do not get a big head about this. We all have roles to play, and just because some of us have bigger roles than others, it doesn't make us bigger than others. That's what the awakening is all about. Coming to the realization that we are all one. but at different stages of our humanity. You were put here to be the shepherd, the shaman, the leader, the healer, the speaker, the star seed, one of the chosen, so the sheep can hurry and wake the fuck up out of their programming. Do not try to wake people up. Trust that the universe will let the right ones flow to you when the time comes. No pressure. Enjoy the honor and trust the flow. I commend you for coming this far, but your story is just beginning.